The Texas Longhorn quarterback room is going to be one of the most visible quarterback rooms in the country. I mean, to call it what it is, because you have a guy like Quinn Ewers, who has now transferred in, and you have a guy like Arch Manning, who is verbally committed to the Longhorns for the future. And so I want to take a look at this, the present and then the future of the Texas Longhorns. Because as fun as it is to talk recruiting, as fun as it is and as good for traction as it is to talk about Arch Manning, which we're not necessarily super in the business of doing, but chasing traction, that is, we have to talk about fall camp because that's what's right in front of us. And for Longhorn fans, you more or less assume it's going to be Quinn Ewers as your starting quarterback. And that's fine, but there's still the reality of, okay, kind of putting your fingers together and looking around and saying, well, why hasn't he been named the starting quarterback yet? I mean, Quinn, you came back home to play, brother. You came back to be the starter in Austin. I don't think you came to Austin to sit on the bench, and I think that's true. But I think we need to take a look as to why he hasn't been named the starter. I don't think it has anything to do with playing. I think by most accounts, by most reports, he's looked really good in the spring at Texas and then so far in fall camp. But I think ultimately what this comes down to is Steve Sarkisian. There could be a piece of this with him trying to keep depth with Hudson Card. But I think even more so, the narrative is, hey, I'm going to let these guys get into pads, right? First week of fall camp, I'm going to let these guys both go out there and actually play football before I name the starting quarterback for my football team. Novel, I know. And I have a lot of respect for Steve Sarkisian for doing that. Because if I'm Hudson Card and I'm named the second stringer before we even get into pads in fall camp, I would feel like I did not get a fair shake. And Hudson Card at times last year looked serviceable, looked solid for Texas. Now, ultimately wasn't the guy, and I think that was the right move. But Hudson Card has proven he's not a slouch of a quarterback. Now, is he going to be the starter for Texas? I don't know, but we were in Twitter Spaces the other day, actually, and like I said, we do Twitter Spaces every Tuesday, 1 Eastern, 12 Central. We had Justin Wells jump on there, and he was basically saying, look, Hudson Card, if he has a big jump to year 2 for him, that'd be great. Like that's possible. Obviously, it's great, but it's possible, I think, is more so the point he was trying to drive home. So Hudson Card, do you know what you have in him? Maybe so, but the kid's still just getting acclimated to this new system. It was his first year in the system last year as well, just like everybody else. And so if Quinn Ewers isn't named the starter right away, even after they get a week or two into fall camp, 2 weeks into fall camp, there's no cause to sound the alarm. It might not be a commentary on Quinn Ewers. It might be more so a commentary on Hudson Card just taking a jump in year 2 in this system, just making it tough on Steve Sarkisian. And I want to make sure I say this because I have a lot of respect for Hudson Card, because even if Quinn Ewers were to be named the starter out of spring, I don't think you see Hudson Card hit the portal. I really don't. I think Hudson Card likes to be in Austin. I think he likes to be a Longhorn, and I think that matters to him. I think that's important to him to be a Longhorn. Hudson Card, a guy that, for the most part, to my understanding, grew up in Austin, went to Lake Travis. He's an Austin guy through and through. He's in the McCombs Business School, which, if you don't know, folks, that's a pretty nice feather in your cap to have regardless of what you do on the 40 acres on the football field. That's a pretty nice piece of paper to leave with. So I think he's bought into Texas for the time being. Now, if he graduates and hits the portal, whole other conversation. But I respect Hudson Card for sticking with it and saying, no, I know Quinn Ewers came here to play. I know he came here to be the starter. But guess what? It's been my dream to be a Longhorn my whole life. And I'm living it. And I'm in one of the best business programs in the world. So no, I'm not leaving. To paraphrase, quote, Wolf of Wall Street and Leo DiCaprio. I'm not leaving. Now, ultimately, I do believe it'll be Quinn Ewers. I think it'll be him before the end of fall camp, and I think he wins the job. Just too much talent, and there's too many weapons with this Death Star offense at Texas to play somebody who you have second guesses about as a quarterback. Not saying that's Hudson Card, just saying that's not a reality you're going to live in. I think Quinn Ewers wins the job. Now, looking forward to the future, it has been very well publicized that Arch Manning has committed to the Texas Longhorns. And people on the 40 acres are excited, to say the least. Like, there is a lot of juice. I mean, even right now, as Arch Manning is sitting in classes as a high school senior, people are saying, yeah, this year will be fun. It'll be great. Quinn Ewers is going to be there. It's going to be awesome. But Arch Manning gets here soon. When Arch gets here, it's all bets are off, baby. We're winning the Natty every single year. That's great. I'm not here to rain on your parade. What I am here to talk about is there is a segment of the population that is concerned about Arch Manning driving away Quinn Ewers. First of all, it's been fairly well documented, or fairly well talked about at least, that Arch Manning's probably going to redshirt, and I think they're happy about that. But even more so, I want to make this clear. Arch Manning committed to Texas knowing Quinn Ewers was there. There wasn't some sort of gotcha, we got Quinn Ewers, so actually you have to sit a year. That's never the case, okay? That was never the narrative for Arch Manning. Actually, sounds like Quinn Ewers was pretty involved in Arch Manning's visit to Texas. Sounds like he was actually pretty instrumental. Sounds like there's a good relationship there. So for Arch Manning, he's on board with what's going on here. I think the hope is that you have Arch Manning redshirt. Quinn Ewers has 2 great years, and he's off to the NFL. I think all parties would agree that's probably what they would like to have happen in a perfect world. And then at that point in time, Arch Manning, Maalik Murphy, duel it out. May the best man win. What I want to make sure we talk about, though, is quarterback depth for great teams. It's not just encouraged, it's commonplace. I mean, look at Alabama. You got Bryce Young, you got Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is not just sitting back there saying, man, I can't wait. I gotta beat out Bryce Young. I can't wait to play. He's saying, no, I'm sticking to the script. I'm in a really good program. When it's my time, it'll be my time, and I'll be ready. Same thing for Arch Manning. He understands, okay, I'm going to stick to the script. I'm going to wait till I'm ready. I'm going to learn as much as I can in this redshirt year. When it's go time, it's go time. So the narrative that Arch Manning is somehow going to push out Quinn Ewers, that there's going to be some sort of quarterback battle when he gets on campus, I don't buy into that. And I think you shouldn't buy into that either, quite frankly, because I don't think that's worth your time. So ultimately, to put a finer point on this, Arch Manning coming to Austin, yes, going to redshirt Quinn Ewers' team unless something unforeseen happens. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.